My name is Ron Smith. I was born Ronald James Smith, and I was at PBS Reno for 15 years. Television is a very personal medium. You sense when you see somebody on there, you're getting to know them. You look into the camera, but you're imagining who is watching you at home. We would normally think in terms of 2 to 3 people, that's all. You're not talking to an auditorium full. You try and form a rapport. I did a lot of on-air work, as well as being on the street trying to raise money for the station.
Channel 5 is a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation that depends on about 80% of its income from the local community, primarily from viewers like you.
Fundraising is a challenge because you are asking people for their funds. And there are times where you don't feel like asking people for their money. But that's what the job was about. And we found after we were able to explain ourselves that this is the medium that needs their support if they're enjoying it themselves, you just kind of bucked up and said, this is worthwhile because that's what's going to make this station continue to work. Do the best you can, do it honestly, give it all you got. Enjoy going to work every day. I was born in Salinas, California, although my folks moved to the Bay Area, and I was raised in San Francisco, and all of my schooling was in the city. When my voice dropped at 12 years old, I truly felt like I wanted to be in broadcasting. I grew up with radio, and I loved it, and I would try to mimic what the announcers were saying and how they were phrasing it. And I enjoyed the music. And I enjoyed the comedy shows that radio had, the drama shows that radio had, The Lone Ranger.
And a hearty "Hi-Yo Silver!" The Lone Ranger.
I would tell people I wanted to be in radio. They said, oh, you're going to repair radios? I said, no, I want to be on the radio. I graduated from Mission High School, which happened to be the school my folks went to as well, and then San Francisco State. And that's where I first really got into television, because our program of broadcasting really was still doing radio drama and things like that. Well, radio drama was pretty passé by that point. And that was when my first experience of working in television was what was called educational TV, and that was KQED in San Francisco. They had just gone on the air as a not-for-profit educational station, and we went down to volunteer to learn how to play television because we didn't have anything like that at the college. Came to Reno in 1960 with a wife and new baby to work at the one TV station that was in town. That was KOLO TV, Channel 8. Other jobs came along later. I did spend time as a salesperson and a sales manager. I spent 10 years with the Chamber of Commerce. I actually had my own business in tour and travel. I worked for the Washoe Association for Retarded Citizens. And then ultimately, when Channel 5 went on the air, it's called KNPB, I was one of the original volunteers and one of the original people on the air doing our pledge drives and the auction. We did that for several years, and it was regular merchandise that people would donate, and then we would present it on air and let people call in their bids. The general manager, Jim Pagliarini, called me in one day and said, would you like to apply for this position that just opened up of Director of Development and Marketing? And I said, well, of course, I'd love to. So applied, and they did do a nationwide search, and ultimately it was down to 2 people, and ultimately I got hired. So I think the pride is we were able to do it, and that this community had such open arms for everything we were doing that it was a very satisfying thing to think, this whole community really, really likes this operation. So I felt very proud to be part of it. Great deal of camaraderie among all the people here. And you realize you got different backgrounds. Engineers are different than people who are in development. The educational side are different people by their experience than those of us who are raising money. It all came together always with a sense of mutual respect and really caring for the work that each of us were doing, and down to, caring about their families and what kind of life they were living.